Alrighty, we are here. Hey, 3 people on with Rachel Strickland. Welcome, Rachel.
Hey guys.
Like we weren't just talking 5 seconds.
Yeah, we just talked.
So, yeah. Then we have 3 people here right now, which is better than we normally start out. Normally it's a big zero for a couple.
High five, everybody.
So, yeah. So we're gonna get started here. So for those I guess for people that maybe don't know you, and I had a quick curious question: how did you get into this business?
Yeah, my grandfather passed this business on to me. I'm just kidding. This is not a family heirloom business. I feel like I have to start coming up with some interesting story. So I was just doing my regular job as a realtor, which I still have my real estate license, but I'd rather flip t-shirts online than sell houses.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I do that instead. But my youngest son was born, and I was on someone's YouTube channel who is not a reseller, and she just like casually mentioned buying something at the thrift store that wasn't for her and selling it. And I was like, what is she even talking about? Because I was a thrifter more out of necessity, probably years prior than that, like when my youngest son or my oldest son was born. And I just loved to thrift. And even when like financially I was able to not have to thrift out of necessity, it's still where I wanted to go, because I could get these brands that I couldn't get other places. I could get higher quality items than what I could walk in and buy retail. But then I would see these items and I was, oh, that one's not in my size. And like a little piece of me died because I had to leave like the size 4 pants behind because I knew they were worth more, but I can't fit into that. So I heard about this girl buying stuff to sell it. And I was like, wait, that's a thing. And then someone mentioned a Goodwill Bins, and there's one 3 hours from here. So I drove to the Goodwill Bins and I did like my first haul of stuff, 6-hour round trip. And my youngest son, he was not even a year old yet. So there was kind of the necessity of wanting to stay home with him as much as possible. My husband and I are both self-employed, no family around to watch him throughout the day. We really didn't want to take him to daycare. So yeah, it just kind of happened and it evolved, and it all happened alongside me getting like more and more frustrated with the career I was at. So like it was the perfect storm of things that I guess that started this.
Yeah, that's a cool story. I mean, it's certainly we come from a similar similar in only that we would go to thrift stores and antique stores for fun, mainly to support Sarah's creepy baby doll habit, but for the most part, we would just go for fun and see what we could find. Like we had at one point like 4 or 5 Michael Jackson Thriller records just because we found them at thrift stores for so cheap and we couldn't leave them behind. So,
yes. Yeah. There's so much stuff that you're like, well, I don't really need another set of dishes, but yeah. So you have to start reselling or you're a hoarder, right?
That's true.
I feel that there are people out there that use reselling to kind of feed into that hoarder thing. They're like, yeah, no, I'm going to sell it. They'll never.
Yeah, this is totally for sale.
I'm going to say hello to a few people. Riblets Gaming's here. Hello, all.
Hey there.
Hello. Dark County Pickers here. Jimmy's here. Hi, Jimmy. How you doing? Gene Phillips here.
That's my dad. Hello. Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. I'm sure she's watching with him.
Hi. And I imagine this is your mother, Lisa?
That's my mom. Hey, Mom.
Lisa. The whole family.
They're my biggest fans, in case anyone didn't know. No one's ever going to love me like they do.
Sarah's mom's our biggest fan, so
that's right.
She'll probably be here at some point. Super Fast Tortoise is here. Hello. He says, thrift life, buy low, sell good, cry trying.
Or cry
trying. Yeah.
You can't read.
That needs to be merch. That needs to be a t-shirt.
Larry's here. Hello. Hi, Larry. How you doing? So you said you got into it primarily because you didn't. How did you make the transition from I'm selling all this stuff to I'm going to go on YouTube now and talk about it?
Yeah, isn't that cool? Because now, like, there's no other resellers in my community. So for them to even grasp the first part of what I do is kind of really very outside of the box. When, like, what do you do? And I say I sell on eBay and Poshmark, or I could, really get fancy that day and be like, I have a vintage and designer e-commerce business, something like this. Like, you can title your business however you want, depending on the crowd. And then I tell them, and YouTube pays me to tell people about it and tell them how to do it for free. And they're just like, what? And because like I am convinced no one else in our town does YouTube either. But last fall, like I already had my YouTube channel since about 2015. And there's some really old videos on there. Most of them have nothing to do with reselling. Please don't go look for them. And I should just delete some or mark them private or something.
Right.
But last fall I was watching, I tell the story all the time. I'm sorry if you guys have heard it 1,000 times, but I was watching Harry Tornado and just the positivity that he puts out in the community. I thought, I want to see more of that. So in my mind, if I want to see more of that, I need to be more of that. So I was like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to go jump feet first into this and create a separate Instagram, separate from my personal. And just like, I had no idea that this whole community existed. And so like, I really I owe him so much gratitude for the friends that I've met in this, and how much I've been able to further my business through education here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did a similar thing, but we were more like, I don't know, maybe I could do it, maybe not. And I did the same thing. My first video it's hilarious.
He looks frightened.
Yeah.
Like you look so scared.
Wide-eyed. This room is empty. There's nothing behind me. No. It's hysterical.
Nice. I'm gonna go back and watch it now. Everyone go back and watch his first video.
He looks afraid.
Somebody sent me or put a comment on one of my videos and they were like, hey, I just found you. I'm from Pittsburgh too. I'm gonna check out your entire collection, starting with one. And I'm like, oh God, please don't.
No. Start with today and then go back and then you can forgive me for those.
He watched today's video and now he's like, I got to see the rest of it. So I'm going back and starting at one. I'm like, don't judge me till about like 50 videos in. Then you can judge all the way. But I had no idea what I was doing in the beginning.
There's so much learning. And to anyone that's in the chat or that watches this later and is thinking like, oh, I'm considering doing a YouTube, it's the same as reselling. Just jump in. You're going to make mistakes. It's not if. You will make mistakes. Oh,
absolutely.
And like roll with the punches. Thankfully, you'll make most of the mistakes in your infancy of YouTube, and you only have like a couple followers at that time.
Yeah. And me and you are in the same camp. I heard you say this on another live that you film the majority of your stuff on your phone, correct?
I used to. I upgraded to a camera in the springtime. Actually, it was like March or something that I bought a Canon.
Even when you're out, like, or like doing anything away from your house?
I don't do a whole lot in the field, but what you probably heard me talk about was that right now I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I do 100% of the lives that I show up at is on my phone, and everyone's always like, "Oh my gosh, what kind of camera do you have for the live?" And it is a Note 8.
Yeah, that's right.
They're on like the Note 28 now.
Yeah. Well, so that's the one piece of advice that I give everybody starting out on YouTube. If I would have known, like, just knowing that my GoPro, like, we have two GoPros. We have a GoPro 8 and a GoPro 9, and we didn't get the 9 obviously until like closer to like 600 subscribers. But I tell everybody, don't buy the GoPro right away. Buy a decent computer that you can edit on and film on your phone, because your phone is just as good as a GoPro. You know, it sucks that you can't like mount it to yourself, but other than that, I film a lot of our thrift store stuff on my phone now because it's just easier.
Yeah, it is easier. And especially like in our community, again, referencing the fact that no one does YouTube, like I see you guys showing up, you know, everyone in the community showing up at yard sales and like this whole body harness with a GoPro, and people are like, oh, what's your YouTube? Do you know what people in my town would say if I showed up with a body harness with a GoPro? No one would assume it was for YouTube. They would be like, what's wrong with you? And they would think it was like for personal protection or something. Like I can only imagine. They would not think it was YouTube.
That's Part-Time Picker had that happen to him. Like one guy confronted him and he was like, why are you wearing a body cam? You afraid something's going to happen? And he's like, no, dude, I got a YouTube channel. I just got a garage sales. The guy's like, oh, well, I want my face blurred.
Yeah, okay. Of course. People around here don't understand YouTube as a job. They, you know, like if I were to go on my personal, when I hit 3,000 subscribers, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, I hit 3,000 subscribers. And they're like, I have 2,500 Facebook friends. Good for you. You know? No, it's hard.
It is. It's really hard. That was when we, I tell everybody the first 100's really hard, but
Yeah.
that last 25 going from 900 to 1,000, from 975 to 1,000,
Just a crawl.
it took forever.
Yeah.
It seemed to take forever.
Such a debt of gratitude to every person that has subbed to my channel, because like it's humbling to think anyone cares what I have to say about reselling.
That's what I say all the time whenever I the last on the 1,000 video subscribers, exactly what I said. I'm like, when I started this YouTube channel, I seriously thought nobody was going to watch, like nobody.
You
And
never
now
know.
I'm talking about 1,000 people, 1,000 of you like me enough to hit the subscribe button. That's amazing. So I'm going to say hello to a few more people here before they get lost. Robin, hello. How are you doing from LA? Amanda's here.
Mandy.
That's Sarah's BFF.
That's my BFF.
Aw.
And Sam is here.
You know where
Replies
Craig
Reselling.
is.
He's the founder of Craig.
Yes, he is. He found Craig.
Yeah. Sarah's favorite Cabbage Patch that got away. So Honey wants to know where you're based.
Southeast Missouri.
So we were looking today. Is the cutoff, like, you're considered the South because is it the whole state of Missouri is considered South, or just the southern part of Missouri?
I personally don't consider anything north of the Mason-Dixon line to be Southern. So like
Okay.
It's really cute when people that are from further up north. I mean, anyone's welcome to say y'all. It just sounds funny coming from you guys.
Well, we don't.
We're like, I'm the Boot Hill. If you were looking at the map today and you saw in Missouri the tiny little part at the corner, that if they had cut Arkansas all the way across, it would have been a straight line. But this is legit how Missouri got its shape. There was a farmer that refused to be a part of Arkansas, so they cut around his farm, and that's where I live. So it's almost Arkansas.
Okay, so yeah, you're definitely South, but you're referring to the people below us, West Virginia, who is part. They say they're South, but they are
And they
definitely
say
the
y'all. They say that they're Southern. I went to West Virginia. I spent 2 weeks at the Greenbrier in West Virginia, and they had signs up at the Greenbrier that said, "It's sleepy time down south, y'all." And I was like, "But is it here too? Because down south."
The further south you get in West Virginia, the more southern it becomes. Like up near
Well-
us, like the Wheeling area.
Well, that's
not so
because it's next to Virginia.
Yeah.
Southern West Virginia is next to Virginia, which is
I just do
technically-
not consider that Southern. But if you actually do look up the Mason-Dixon line, because I did when I saw that, it does kind of jut a little further north as it goes to the eastern coast. So I don't know. My cutoff is going to be like Tennessee, South Carolina, like
That's my cut.
Kentuckians,
Yeah.
as long as they're middle to South Kentuckians.
Depends
Like
on what
those-
part of the state you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't say y'all in Pittsburgh.
That's weird. But
That's not a thing in Pittsburgh. It's yins in Pittsburgh, which
Yins.
is YINZ, and
cute.
that's just it's the weirdest saying. When I was a kid, it was anybody that said yins, we always made fun of them, and because it was like old speak, like it was old people talking to one another. Now it's kind of got a resurgence in this like newer generation is embracing this.
That's like
weird
Yinzer
saying.
Picker. He said that's where
where
Yinzer comes from.
That's where I got it from. Yeah, people that have the heavy Pittsburgh accent, everybody calls Yinzers, and that's just been it's been a thing since I moved back. But when I was a kid, it wasn't a thing. It was like, you said yins, that's weird. Don't say that, But now it's a thing. There's this whole language that goes with this city, and it's weird. Like, do you say jumbo in Missouri? Do you know what jumbo is? I mean,
like something that's big.
No, it's baloney.
Baloney.
No.
Yeah, it's baloney. And then gum band is another one.
No, you guys really do have your own little language.
rubber band.
It's rubber band.
Yeah, rubber band. It's gum band. It's just.
So do you guys say like jimmies instead of sprinkles, like that type of thing?
Yeah, people
Yes.
say jimmies. Yeah. And
And,
people say wash instead of wash.
My mom says that, and she's a Southerner. She's watching right now, and I give her a hard time. She says wash, and she'll say like wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
O's turn into A's. So like if you say down, like a real Yinzer would say dan.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah.
so like, and people have embraced it. There's actually a sign because our road used to be a one way or a dead end, and then they opened it up on the end. Now it's like this cut through that everybody takes. So people speed down it, and this guy down the road has a sign that says "Slow Down." DAHN.
That's cute.
It's a weird city, but it's
Yeah.
fun. So super fast tortoise has a comment about YouTube. My problem with YouTube is that I will spend over 8 hours working on and editing graphic transitions just because I feel I have to, knowing I might never use it. Pro tip: don't be like me.
Yeah, just get it done. But put out quality stuff, because I think
Yeah.
people can see through like you just putting something out to have a video out. Like I spent a long time this morning making a video that will probably never be, because halfway through it I kind of changed my mind about what I was getting after, and then I was like, you know what, everyone's always asking me about my printer. That's the video I'm about to put out. So I put out the video about my printer.
I want to talk to you about that in a minute after I get
Okay.
through some of these. William is from West Virginia, and he's enjoying all the West Virginia talk.
He's down south, y'all.
So Honey is also from Morgantown, West Virginia, and she agrees with you. Northern West Virginia is not the
So
South.
weird. Yeah, thank you.
Cheryl's here. She says hello. And Sam says
Yeah,
slippy is another
That's
word.
another one. Yep.
Yeah, when there's ice out, it's slippy.
Not
Flippy.
not slippery. Slippy.
Can't make these things up. There's a coffee mug that they make that says it says Pittsburgh Ease on the top of it, and it has every saying.
We have that mug.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
See, I have an aunt that lives in Pennsylvania, and I asked her if she says Yinzer, and she said, "What the heck are you talking about?" So she's apparently not from this area, but I don't know where in Pennsylvania she's from. If my mom's still in the chat, maybe she can say where in Pennsylvania. But so I don't know if she uses the same kind of slang you guys do, but I'm gonna try to remember some of these terms.
The further east you go, so the closer you get to Philly, the more kind of northeast it becomes. So more like kind of like that Maine, New York,
That, like,
Massachusetts
Boston
accent. Yeah, like the kind of
I've been
heavy.
to Boston once.
Did you drive in Boston?
No, I got a cab, and we thought we were gonna die. Yeah, we went to see a Red Sox game there. It was Red Sox Yankees actually, and yeah, I thought we were gonna die. It was crazy. We stayed out of the city in Medford because they overbooked the hotel that we had, and so we caught a cab from the airport to Medford, and it was like $40-something.
Oh yeah. The last time I was in Boston for business, and normally I just did that. I would take a cab from the airport to where I was going, then to my hotel, and then back to the airport. But the last time I had to be in Boston for like 4 days or something. This was years and years ago. And they're like, just rent a car. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, it's not.
We don't drive like that here.
No. Not only is it crazy that the people are like driving around crazy, but you'll go to make a right and you can't make a right there. And you go to the next street, and you can't make a right there. And you go to the next street, you can't make a right there. And you're like, I'm never making a right. And you're 6 miles down the road. There's the first right you can make.
I think we were in the middle of at least 4 lanes of traffic when we caught this cab, and he just goes, "Oh, you're going to such and such," and U-turns in front of everyone. I was like, "This is how we die. This is
Oh yeah,
how it's all the ends." It was crazy.
Yeah. Here we got one patient picker from Pittsburgh. How yins doing?
I mean, I've heard. I guess that one that would be closest to what I've heard.
Yeah, Rosie says, as a northeasterner native, anything below the Pennsylvania is south to me.
So cute.
It's getting close. And Jean says, I drove an 18-wheeler through Boston once by accident. That would not be fun.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
People complain about driving in the city of Pittsburgh, and the city of Pittsburgh is simple as far as I'm concerned. But like all my friends
hate
are like,
it.
Yeah, Sarah doesn't like drive. It doesn't bother me. I used to drive in San Francisco most of my life, and that was a nightmare. So it's just Pittsburgh, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Dad, he drove truck most of like our younger childhood. And so anywhere that he drove that he thinks is crazy, because he's kind of an expert driver, it must be crazy.
Yeah.
She's like close to the Poconos. So is that's not close to you guys?
Not at all. No. That's northeast part of the state going towards
like the
New
very
York City.
Most northeast part.
Beautiful. If you ever have a chance to get up to the Poconos, though, it would be an adult vacation because
I
they have
remember
like
going once when I was kids because my mom's mom lived up there, but
Mhm.
I don't really remember a whole lot about it. Like I've seen pictures of waterfalls.
it's really pretty, and then they have like this. It's the easiest way to describe it is it's like a honeymoon destination. So like all the hotels are kind of weird and honeymoony and stuff like that. And
Bed and breakfast.
no, think
Oh, okay.
cheesier.
Yeah, like champagne glass hot tub
Yeah.
Oh,
with
wow.
like stairs that go up into it.
Yeah. They're
My
like-
kids would have a blast.
might be a little weird explaining
I
why
can
the
see them to
mirror.
the bottom.
Yeah, until your kid goes, "Mom, why are there mirrors on the ceiling?" And then you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, we can't
Oh,
really
yeah.
talk
okay.
about
We're
that."
not
Yeah.
going to the Poconos.
Yeah, and like round beds and like all kinds
Yeah.
of.
Our kids go everywhere with us, so the Poconos trip is not in our future. I do want to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, though, and take my oldest son because he's like a chocolate addict. So
That's a good trip. The
like
theme
to go
park's really really cool. It's
I didn't know there was a theme park.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, and it's got a ton of chocolate in it. You can get your picture taken. Instead of like Mickey Mouse, they've got like a guy in a big Hershey bar, and
It's so
It's-
fun.
they actually have. I don't remember. I was there when I was really young. Were the rides any good, or were they kind of like?
I-
Fair stuff.
We always went to car shows. My dad never took us to the theme park. We always went to antique car shows when I was little.
Nice.
But
We never made it to the park.
from what I've been told, the park is not like a little joke. It's a nice park.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's got decent
Yeah.
rides and stuff like that, so it's worth a trip for sure.
Yeah. I feel it's like on a Cedar Point type level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cedar Points are Six Flags in Ohio, by the way. Patient Picker was at our bins today, Heidelberg bins. Did you find anything good? He said there's so many red lights in the South Hills.
Yes.
I'll never go there, and I know why. Yes,
Yeah, the South Hills is the worst. Is so bad.
that's south of Pittsburgh is where Sarah's from, and it's a very hard place to drive.
Never move back there again.
Cheryl says the Poconos. That's me. She likes the Poconos. Not much like that anymore. Lots of those places closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of them did.
Can see
She
how much
bought the
research-
champagne hot tub and it's in her backyard.
So it's on Cheryl's eBay store right now. If you guys are interested.
Staircase sold separately.
That's right. It's come and pick it up. Local pickup only. Rosie says, I love Hershey. I'm a huge theme park head, and they have updated it a lot in the last 10 years with big rides. So there you go.
Nice.
Nice.
So it's probably
Maybe we should
worth
plan
it.
a trip.
It's Pennsylvania's that's a cool part of the state. Well, it's a cool drive through Pennsylvania. It's not like it's a very mountainous drive. So if you like
There's
scenery,
a marathon up there somewhere near the Poconos because I know it's not far from my aunt. That is the nation's fastest Boston qualifying marathon because it's all downhill.
yeah, I can see that.
So I need to if we go there, we're gonna have to plan it around that and run that marathon.
Once you come up through like West Virginia and into Pennsylvania, you'll notice the hills, and it just starts.
Nice.
Like I cut grass for part time. I still have my landscape company, and we don't have a single lawn that's flat. Not
Oh,
one.
wow.
Like
I mean,
they're
well,
all-
the one like some of the backyards are,
yeah, most of it.
but the rest no.
Hills everywhere around here. So Ken Green's here. He's a new subscriber. Hi guys. What bin store do you guys like the best for hard goods? All right, if you talk, he's from Pittsburgh, so I imagine he's talking about us.
Obviously.
Our favorite one is the Heidelberg bins. That's our best one. That's the one closest to us. The other two,
Mhm.
you said yours is 3 hours away.
St. Louis is the closest one to me, so it's 6-hour round trip.
Is it worth the 3 hour drive or not?
Every time that I went, I filled up my entire car. But I haven't been in like a year and a half at least.
Okay.
I need
Wow,
to go
that's
back.
that's crazy. Your whole car.
I have to. It's 6 hours round
Yeah,
trip.
You gotta-
that's
you gotta
true. You need to make the
Get a
most out of
t-shirt.
it. I just
Yeah.
don't know, like that. I could. You must be there for a long time then, because
Oh,
I
all
don't
day.
know. Yeah.
No, absolutely all day long.
Yeah.
I go by myself, so it's just me and my thoughts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
old
I
dirty
could be there.
t-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, but I could maybe stay there for, I don't know, 2 hours and then I'd be done. But if I was taking that long of a drive, yeah, definitely.
No, I mean I probably the shortest time I ever stayed there was like 6 hours or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do
You
you-
got
do
to
you-
make it worth it.
When you go, do you tend to find more in like the new stuff, or do you tend to find more in like just digging?
Oh, I like to pick to the bottom where nobody else really picked through. The new stuff, I'm not that confrontational. And although they're
Me
not
either.
like vicious, like I've seen in some places, I'm like one time I waited and the guy said he was going to be bringing out purses, and I waited and it wasn't purses, and I moved to the next one and it wasn't purses, and I moved to the next one and it wasn't purses. And finally I was like, I'm going to go look through all these things that I was not at because he said he was going to bring out purses, and I'm over here looking, and what does he bring out next? Purses. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I wait until like they're on it like cockroaches, you know what I mean? Like, not to be disrespectful, but that's what it looks like. And so when they all clear out, I go over there and find 2 Coach bags, vintage Coach.
Nice.
I'm just like, nobody knew what they were even looking for.
I don't think they do when it just my observation of how that goes when people are waiting around there, they're just grabbing. Like, it doesn't even, they're not even looking, they're just grabbing, because I can't tell you how many times we've gone in, like you said, after it cleared out and just literally picked up 2 things and we're like, there.
And they have money. And then also in the purses, if there's any purse sellers that go to the bins, they're not even looking for the purses. They're looking in the pockets, because you'll go over there and every one of them's pulled inside out, and they're just wanting to know, did someone leave money in one of them?
Sarah has an ultimate goal with luggage at the bins.
Yes.
She wants to pull out like the lining, you know, the lining zips out of them. She wants to pull up the lining and find money. Like
$1 billion.
Yeah.
I did find a $50 Dick's gift card though.
Hey, that's cool. Did you buy anything with it?
Yeah, he bought some clothes for vacation.
No.
Yep. But I told them when I was leaving, I'm like, are we allowed to take this? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. If we find them, we keep them. So I'm like, do you want to weigh it? He's like, it doesn't weigh anything. Just take it. I'm like, okay.
That's crazy. I would have totally stuck that in my pocket. Am I a bad person? Because I wouldn't have offered. If anything, I would have stuck it in with the other things I was buying, just so that the weight was considered.
Right. Well, I did. I put it on top of like the folded pile that I had. And Adam's like, there's not going to be any money on that. And I'm like, well, I'm taking it.
$50.
Nice.
$50.
Funny.
Super Fast Tortoise has a question for you. What's y'all's biggest obstacle when you started reselling? What was y'all's biggest obstacle when you started reselling?
I think you get in your own way. That's your biggest obstacle. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever anyone tells you, look in the mirror. That's your biggest obstacle, because you're going to talk yourself into the fact that shipping is too hard, and you're going to talk yourself into like spending too much on your inventory and overcomplicating things. And then your biggest obstacle in being you is that we're lazy by nature and don't just get up and get your daggum 20 listings or however many you need to do that day. Just get it done. Don't go to bed until it's done. Like, everyone has an excuse and they all stink. So like, quit saying your excuses out loud enough that you believe them, because when you comp out your numbers and you're comparing them to Susie over here, who's working her tail off, that's not a fair comparison, because she's not, looking at excuses. So your biggest obstacle is you. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah. I'm going to go with sell what you know. That's my biggest thing, is because so many people get into this and then they start buying things that I'm buying, or things that you're buying, or things that they see Commonwealth Picker buy, or somebody else buy. And it's like, if you're an expert on something, sell what you know, because that's the easiest thing for you to start when you're starting out. Like, you'll learn as time goes on. Like, we just dove into Squishmallows and we're like, yeah, we don't know what we're doing, but we're going to give it a shot. And it worked.
I want to find one.
Walmart. Just
not our Walmart. We don't have Squishmallows.
Really?
They only come at a certain time. Like, they bring out one box.
What aisle are they in?
They're not.
No. Oh yeah, we never had them.
They're just randomly in the store in like a huge box, and you just need to search for them.
They bring up.
We've legitimately never had those.
They roll them out in like a big Gaylord and just set it down somewhere in the store. The first time Sarah went, they set it down in electronics, like in the middle of the electronics aisle and the clothing. And by the time she got there, people were picking them out. And then the second time she went, they wheeled it out near the toy area and put it like in front of all the aisles of the toys. They don't ever make it onto a shelf. Like, they
I'm not even kidding. They would have to put them on clearance at our Walmart. Everyone would be like, Hootie, what? I'm not sending that. What's that pillow for? Like, nobody would want it. There's Squishmallows on the shelf at Walgreens right now. I comped them and they weren't worth taking. Like,
Really?
it was like a Mickey Mouse and stuff.
Well,
Because I went looking for the Jack Skellington that everyone is getting, like the Nightmare for Christmas ones. But our Walgreens doesn't even have Halloween out.
Huh.
Yeah, ours was just starting to, and whenever I went to the one Walgreens, when I found the other Squishmallows in like the health and beauty department of Walmart, like they're just everywhere. The guy's like, everyone asks me about Squishmallows like every day. He's like, I'm so tired of you people and your Squishmallows.
And that was an accurate representation of what his face looked like.
I'm gonna put out on my personal Instagram. I'm gonna put out a poll that says, "Do you know what a Squishmallow is?" And then I will just screenshot the answer of 98% of the people saying no and transfer that over. Like, I can't talk about any brands to people around here. I will talk about Teeks and Rothy's, and they're like, "Huh? You found what?" I'm like,
see, I don't even know what those are. I don't know what either.
Well, I do a lot of like designer clothing and stuff, and they're designer flats. And well, they're not even really designer. They're just very high dollar. And apparently no one around here knows what they are because you can pick them up for $3 and $4. They sell for over $100 a pair. I mean, the Rothy's I sold for $432 at auction, and I bought them for $4 at our one and only thrift store.
We're gonna have to keep an eye out for this.
Yeah,
we're learning designer. Like, we're slowly getting into some designer things. Like, we've stumbled upon like designer denim at the bins or at like a thrift store or something. We've looked it up and we've been like, whoa. And so we're just getting into that kind of thing, but it's slow going with us because we get sidetracked and then we buy more Cabbage Patch or something. So Cheryl says lots of hills here in Pennsylvania. It's scary in the winter but beautiful in the summer.
Yeah, I bet.
It's pretty in the winter too, but yeah, you don't want to go sliding down those hills. That is. Riblets Gaming has a question for you. How do you source, Rachel?
So we do have one thrift store in our town. They were closed for the last 2 weeks. They reopened on Tuesday. Closed for 2 weeks, our only thrift store. And there's there's thrift stores in the town surrounding us, so I'll go there every once in a while. And like, I saw 2 yard sale signs for tomorrow, so before I go do Meals on Wheels tomorrow, I'll stop at those 2 yard sales. But since I'm the only reseller pretty well in our town, other than people that have like antique booths, which we're not looking for the same thing, when I do go source, I mean, I could fill up my cart if I really want to, so I don't really have to source as often, I guess. There's this really cool auction house in a town near me that the last time I went, I spent like $200 and we filled 2 vehicles. So, I mean, they were so dirt cheap. I bought like a standing record player from I would say maybe the 1930s for $3 because no one else would take it. Yeah. So
was it a wind up one?
No, it's electric, and it has like a record player in the middle, and then it had like an old tube radio at the top. Is really beautiful.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, like really cool mid-century pieces are just given away around here because nobody sees the value in them. Old Levi's are $2 a pair because nobody wants them.
Oh, that would be great.
So I go in and buy all of it, and then one of the thrift stores will call me when they get good vintage. And like, they called me because they cleared out a lady's house that had like her kids' clothes and her clothes all the way back to the 60s. And they brought in 2 Gaylords of them. And they were like, Rachel, we can't sell any of this. Do you want to go through it? And they sold it to me for $1 a piece.
Nice. We got to take a trip out your way, I think. Well, we had a thrift store that we could get jeans for $3 at. And we were buying Levi's like crazy at one point, and then they caught on, and now they're $12, and we're like,
that's crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, our only thrift store, they're $2.50 unless they're when they reopened, they rolled out a designer rack, and they're all $15. And I was just like, another prime example of people are like, thrift stores are for poor people to shop at. I'm like, poor people cannot afford to shop at thrift stores, so like, squash that theory. Not true.
No. It's definitely not true. It's I think the majority of what we see in our area now is resellers. It seems like that's just what's happened. And I think we're partially to, like, not we're being, YouTube, but I think that somewhat has something to do with it. It makes it a little more challenging, but we still find good stuff.
Yeah, there's always a hidden gem somewhere that someone did not find.
Yep.
So Honey has a question. I'm going to actually look for you. I'm going to put your link here in the chat for your YouTube channel, but she wants to know what your YouTube channel name is and what are the platforms you sell on, and do you focus on a particular product?
So my YouTube is just Rachel Strickland, and my Instagram is Reseller Rachel Strickland. I sell on eBay and on Poshmark. I've actually done better on Poshmark the last couple of days than I have eBay, but typically eBay is 90%. Poshmark's just kind of hanging out and lets me know they're still alive every once in a while with a sale. But the products that I source, I am I gravitate more towards vintage than anything else. That is vintage clothing, vintage home goods. Gosh, if it was vintage tools, I just feel like the quality is there that is not there in other products, and those materials will last another 50, 100 years. So alongside vintage, the quality is there with designer items as well. So I love to pick up designer things. I'm just all about quality. I don't want to pick up anything that you can get from Wish. I'm not super into retail arbitrage unless it's dirt cheap or something that gets me excited. I've had a death pile. I currently don't have a death pile, and I want to keep it that way. And the biggest way to grow your death pile is to source stuff that you are not passionate about and you're not interested in. And so I love mid-century. I love vintage, wood, metal, and glass.
Cool. Nice. I'm not allowed to have a death pile. So.
Yep. We don't do death piles either.
That's awesome.
And
I bought yesterday. I listed yesterday.
Yeah. Yep. I have stuff from yesterday that half of it I have done, and like the rest of it is right here.
That's awesome.
We do have a holiday pile though, because we didn't want to put like Christmas stuff up in June. We do have a holiday pile.
But it's only 2 Tupperware containers. So it's nothing.
Rosie has a question for you. What's your top selling brands?
I don't know that I source any one brand or like group of, I don't source like 5 or 10 brands enough to know like which ones sell the most, but there are a few things that I will pick up every single time that I see them. One of those being Birkenstocks. I don't wear Birkenstocks. I'm not a Birkenstocks fan, but you sell you names. You have Birkenstock, you have Birkies, and then you have Batula, and they all sell almost instantly for, you're guaranteed between $30 and $50 at minimum. I would say $30 on the ones that are really small size or in very bad condition, but men's Birkenstocks, like the clog styles, it's going to be $50 every time, even with dirty soles.
Really?
So I will always pick up Birkenstock. I will always pick up Coach to an extent. It breaks my heart a little bit when people get very excited about 90s and early 2000s Coach bags, like a poppy print or something. You're going to get $20 for it. If that excites you, then that's awesome. But it is not like, I think people hear Coach and they think it's like $1,000 bag. It's not Gucci. Like there's a big difference in Louis Vuitton and Coach, or like Kate Spade, everything Kate Spade. I probably will pick up if the price is right, because I'm a fan of that. But yeah, Sony would be another brand that I will at least comp out every time I see it, because I think that has a huge following. Trying to think of any other brands that I just, if it's not outlet, J. Crew.
I have a question for you, Coach. We are weary about Coach because we see a lot of Coach out here. And like you said, the early 2000 stuff is really not worth a lot of money, but the older stuff is. And our thing with Coach is that there's so many fakes out there that we don't know enough to be able to say, yeah, this is real, or no, this isn't real. And I'm just so worried about selling a fake by accident. And that's, do you ever, you might have been selling it for a lot longer than we have, I'm sure, but do you have like a tip on how maybe to figure something like that out?
Absolutely. I have an entire video about how to authenticate Coach, and a video coming out about how to break down the serial number and the creed inside. Like, I have a lot of people reach out to me on Instagram, and absolutely, you guys or anyone in the chat is always welcome. My DMs are always open. DM me pictures of the bag, and I will tell you my honest opinion. Like, my authentication services are free, and I will tell you if I feel like it's real. I have a designer vintage Coach collection myself. I just got a bag in today. Like, I collect the unlined leather pieces from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I just think that they're gorgeous. But so a lady DM'd me 2 Coach bags today, and I was able to tell her that one was made in May of 1992, and that one was made in like March of 1998. Oh, wow. And they're absolutely, they're authentic, because like I need to see certain pictures. You need to look for YKK zippers. They're not always going to be branded, but typically they are going to be branded. And on a zipper, I wish I had a bag close by, but on the zipper, it's on the side. That's the one picture I have to ask people for more than once, because I'm like, no, the side of the zipper, there's letters.
So you're not talking about the flat parts of the zipper. You're talking like if this is a zipper, it'd be here.
Yeah, like the actual head of the zipper that slides on the side of it. You may not even realize that there's letters there, but it should be branded.
Okay.
If the Coach bag has rings on it, then those rings are going to be solid. There's not going to be a break in those rings.
Okay.
The biggest thing you can do with the Coach bag, when in doubt, is look for the creed inside. Just because it has a creed does not mean it's real, and just because it doesn't have a creed does not mean it's fake, because like the pre-1970s bags from 1941 to 1970 don't have creeds. You could do like a whole lesson in this, but
Okay.
read the creed. If there is a creed, read it. And if you see one misspelling, put the bag down. If there are two words that there's not a space between them, run. So that is one of the biggest giveaways that I could offer people. You know, look at the quality, look at the stitching. But I do have a whole video on how to authenticate Coach, because I'm a little passionate about fakes not ending up in the marketplace, because it makes me sick.
Yeah. We've come across a few at like the bins and stuff, and we can tell, you know, that they're fake because of the stitching and stuff like that. But these are, you know, but other than that, it's when you find something in like a thrift store and you're like, and
you want it to be real. That's the worst part, is when you find it and you're looking at reselling it, you want it to be real. So your mind is giving all these concessions for every red flag. You're like, yeah, but the stitching might be a little off there. Like you want it to be real.
Yeah. We've done similar things. What are those jeans, those designer jeans that we've gotten with like the Buddha on them? I can't remember the name.
Oh, True Religion.
True Religion. We've gotten a couple pairs of those for like $3, and like I'll pick them up and I'm like,
wow, these
can't be real. Like they just can't be real.
I would say that's now they are faked. I mean, there are fake.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. But
there are.
But I've actually gotten good at knowing which ones are fake and which ones aren't. Like there's that foil there's that foil strip on the tag. There's, you know, the omega signs on the insides of the pins, and the stitching has to be double. It's amazing what you pick up as you go along in kind of this journey. So,
but I mean, it's important for sure to know.
Oh yeah. Well, Coach and bags have always kind of, me and her have looked at each other and we're like, this looks real, but we don't.
Yeah. The only Coach bags we've ever sold on eBay or Coach wallets or anything were Coach things of our own that we knew were real, that we just outgrew and got sick of, and we bought new Coach stuff. So we know that they're real. So
my husband bought me a Coach wallet one year. Pardon me, several years ago for Christmas. He knew I was looking for a vintage designer wallet. Sorry, I have such a tickle. Anyway, when I opened this wallet, it was face down, and I knew he took my kids Christmas shopping, and I was just like, did they go to like Route 21 and buy me a wallet? Because you could just feel, I hadn't even flipped this thing over. He got it on eBay and it was fake, and I had to prove to the people that it was fake, and the guy was upset. Drew got his money back, but
boy, did they sell to the wrong person.
100%. But I wasn't going to say anything. I turned it over and I was like, thank you so much. And I just ate it all day. I just swallowed that. And then finally he looks at me and goes, is it real? Something on my face told him. And I was like, honey, I was never going to tell you. No, it's not. I was being curious.
Oh, that sucks. But at least you were able to, you know, determine it was fake and get your money back.
Yeah, really.
Riblets Gaming has a question. How long did it take for your eBay stores to open to more listings? I've heard that they only allow 5 to 10 listings for a long time. I don't recall that ever being a thing for us.
It was.
Yes, it was. It was for us.
It was never for me. I think it's crazy. And I have people ask me about some of the new things. How did you do this? I'm like, that wasn't a thing when we started eBay.
Yeah, it was. Remember, because we had like 60 or 70 listings or something, and you're like, they won't let us list more.
No, that was a dollar amount. So they had it. The way we did it was a dollar amount. It was like $3,000 you could list, and we went up to that. And then it was like request an increase, and you requested an increase. And then like three seconds later, it's like 10,000. You're like, Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. When my dad started eBay, they had already started the 5 to 10 limit or whatever. Because he calls me and he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And I think he just called them and they were able to increase it for him maybe over the
Yeah.
phone. And that's what I
Mhm.
understand that people do.
I would imagine they would. Yeah, they would if you reached out to them. I would imagine also if you paid for a store, they'd have to let you go above and beyond that, right?
You'd
I
think
mean,
since you're paying for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah's mom's here. She says, "I'm listening to you now."
She always says it's so creepy. Hi, Mom.
Rural Squirrel is here. I've been on eBay since 1997 and struggle with branching out to other platforms. What other platforms are your favorites?
There is no other favorite.
There isn't. No, you're right. Macari is my close second at the moment because we are doing pretty decent on Macari. We're one product a day and we only have like 90 listings on it. So that's been
Yeah.
to jump on. I sell on Poshmark also, and I know you guys just started recently over there. But I'm so select about what I put on there anymore because the buyer has to pay $7.50 shipping, and they don't want to pay that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do first class shipping, and even if you offered free shipping, you then have to pay the $7.50 shipping.
Yeah.
So be select, like shoes, coats, and designer stuff.
Yeah.
We've been really slow on Poshmark too. When we first started in Poshmark, we were doing a couple sales every other day, but now nothing.
Well, we haven't listed anything on Poshmark for like 2 weeks. So that's probably
my
why.
problem. Same.
We sold one thing today.
Speaking
I shared
of which,
my story yesterday.
There you go. So actually, we have a question for you. Maybe you know the answer to this.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead. Sarah can ask.
So I have somebody earlier today that added 2 items from our Poshmark into a bundle.
Yeah.
What is that?
Okay, so when someone adds something to a bundle, it can mean a couple different things. If it's just an honest buyer, they're like, "Ooh, let me look through here," because a lot of stores, mine included, give a discount. You know, if you buy 3 or more items from me, you're getting like a 10% or 15. Who cares what it is? But maybe they're trying to get that discount. But more often than not, you'll see people put one item in a bundle, and it's basically their way of nudging you to make them an offer.
Okay.
So, I mean, in my opinion, anyone else that sells on Poshmark in the chat, like, correct me if you think that's wrong. But I feel like if we're talking about it legitimately, they're just wanting you to make them an offer. And so also in a bundle, you can make comments, but they're not truly private. There is a way to find bundle comments. So don't say anything that you don't want the whole world to read. You know, because sometimes people aren't nice in the comments, and that's not good business practice. But I don't think you guys would do that anyway.
No.
Right. No.
And then when you make offers in the bundle, the unique thing is that you don't have to offer the shipping discount. So you know how you have to offer a shipping discount for those that aren't familiar every time that you make an offer on Poshmark, but in the bundle you do not. So
well, I'm gonna do that right now then.
A lot of the times the bundles just sit there and they don't ever come back. They don't do anything. And even if you make them a really great offer, they may just sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was, and it happened like just before we were going live, and I'm like, we might know.
Yeah. And then there's a way that you can style people. If you add things to their bundle, don't do that. It's so annoying. Like, I don't want to hear Becky Lewis styling you. Like, why? I liked one thing in your closet. Don't do that.
So they can add things to your bundle. They could be like, yeah, you like these jeans? How about this shirt?
Yes, and put a whole outfit together for you, and then make you an offer on the outfit. I'm like,
no.
It's like weird. Stitch Fix.
A lot about Poshmark is weird.
Yeah, that is real weird.
Robin says I passed up 2 Coach bags this afternoon, left them behind because she just wasn't sure. That's us every time we find Coach.
I hate to see people leave potential profits, but honestly, better safe than sorry. Like a friend of mine over on Instagram, he messaged me and he said, "How about these 2 Coach bags?" And I thought he was still in the store, and I broke it to him about both of them being fake and why they were fake. And he's like, "Well, I guess it's a $20 lesson." I was like, "No, you bought them first." And so he actually said, "I'm going to mail these to you, and then you can, in a video, you can show people why they're fake." Because like, I can tell you the real things to look for, but if I have a fake item and I can show you this is why it's fake, then that could help educate you also. Oh, you're not leaving profits, and then you're not passing on counterfeits.
Yeah. That's actually a good idea. I mean, because the fake ones, because you look online, like when we were doing the research on the True Religion jeans, like they would show us like pictures of these fake ones, and it's like, come on, like it's. I knew, yeah, of course. If the label looks that bad, yeah,
Yeah,
like
sometimes it's
True
obvious.
True Religion is spelled with a W, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's definitely fake, and I would know that because I'm a smart person and I can spell. But
Since I'm not a moron, I won't buy
Yeah.
these.
right, but other than that, show me something that means something, and you're
Well,
like,
I mean, one of these bags that he bought said Cooch instead of Coach. I was like, Tim, I don't think that even says Coach. He's like, my wife thinks it says Cooch.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
because it does. Like, it's this real pretty script writing. And I was like,
Yeah.
the second one is not an A, it's 2 O's.
That's hilarious.
that's hilarious. Those are the ones you buy in San Francisco, in Chinatown.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're like, yeah,
they're very high
$16,
street.
and you're like, $16 for a Coach purse? That seems cheap.
Seems too good to be true. I bought a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes from Matt Easy because he wasn't sure, and he is such a great seller and does not want to pass something on or put it in his store if he wasn't sure. So I was trying to help him decide, and neither one of us were sure just based off of internet photos. And I'm like, you should be able to feel Christian Louboutin quality. Like those are $1,000 heels. And he's like, I'm just not sure. And I mentioned that they were the exact size and style that I'm looking for me. And he said, pay shipping, I'll send them to you. You can have them. I was like, what if they turn out to be real? And he's like, then you're welcome. Oh my gosh. I didn't even have those out of the box and I could feel how fake they are. I'm like, guys do not know women's fashion.
No, that is
That's
accurate.
funny.
If you've watched any of my What Sold videos, that's me
Yeah.
struggling with like, I don't know what this is. It's a poncho. Like it's a thing that goes. That's what it is.
I cut those shoes up though in the YouTube video about them. Like
Oh,
while
nice.
I was showing how fake they were. I was like, I'm so confident that these are fake, and I cut them and was like showing that it wasn't leather.
Oh, there you go. Gino's here. He says, hello, guys.
Hey,
Hello,
Gino.
Rachel. Rural Squirrel here. Another question for you. Do you send your bags into eBay to get authenticated to sell them on that platform, or how do you handle selling designer on eBay? I don't think you can authenticate a bag on eBay, can you?
Yes, over a certain dollar amount. I've never sold anything over that amount. I did sell a pair of Converse that had to be authenticated because they were new sneakers over $100. So that I can tell you how easy that went though. I got the address to ship them to, and it turned out to be the authenticator in Las Vegas. I mailed them over, she authenticated them, and then they shipped them to the buyer. And
Yeah.
I've purchased, I bought a pair of Yeezys for my son because he's a spoiled child. And they went to the authenticator first before they came to us. So their program is very good.
I heard it was really good. Drew over at Profit Monsters said it was really, really simple too. And so did Pete at Craigslist Hunter. He had a Rolex that he sold, and same thing, sent it to a guy in Cleveland. He authenticated it and sent it right over.
Drew had a Coach suitcase that he found, kind of like a duffel suitcase. It was like, if memory serves me, maybe even tapestry style. And he sent me the pictures, and I was able to authenticate it and send him the original catalog insert for that. And he sold it for like $325, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, and he
Good
was
find.
not thinking about listing it because he wasn't sure.
SMP postcards here. Hello. Rosie says, I just started on eBay 3 months ago. For the first 30 days, I could only list like 10, and then they gave me 120. Now I have 225. Ugh.
Nuts. Yeah, we didn't have that. We got grandfathered in. Things were a lot easier.
Yeah, we had a dollar amount. That's how they did it with
Yeah.
us, and it was a certain dollar amount, and then they were like, "Oh, just hit click here to request more." And like as soon as you clicked it, it was like 20,000, and you're like, "Great, that was easy."
There you go.
I wonder why they're doing that. I guess they're getting a lot of problems. That's the only thing I could think of.
I don't know. I mean, you think
Yeah.
they want people listening?
Right. Yeah. Why would they do that? It doesn't make much sense.
And Sam says, "Does anybody?" I imagine he's asking if anybody sells on Depop.
I created a Depop account, and then I heard what a joke it really was for a lot of people that like don't have time to, kind of like how I don't have time to babysit Poshmark. And I don't know. I understand some vintage items could go for more over there, but I also understand the crowd that is shopping on Depop is like broke kids. And maybe that's probably not who I'm trying to sell.
Yeah, I also created a Depop account and I got like 2 sections into the sign up, and then when it started asking me some questions, I'm like, this
This is not for me.
This is not for
I'm not this hip.
No, definitely not. I'm way too old for this kind of thing. Like we just want to sell Cabbage Patch. That's all we want to sell. Superfast Tortoise says, as it is to cross posting, do you get confused with shipping labels or get them mixed up? I do not. It's pretty hard to do that. Yeah. They're brand new to reselling, so they're just now starting their eBay store. So my opinion on that is it would be pretty hard because each platform has a different shipping system. So like eBay, you almost can't get them mixed up because you have to print them right off the website. The only ones that I would get mixed up are Macari, because I screenshot the thing and try to print it out on my Rollo printer, and then. But do you have any problems with it, or I don't?
No, not really, because like mine again is so vastly different. The way, like, I can't even use my label maker, like my label printer, to print Poshmark. I have to like cut it up like a dinosaur, because it's prehistoric over here for Poshmark, because they won't allow a 2x7 label to be printed. So I would have to have my eyes closed to confuse them.
So do you want to talk about your printer, or do you want everybody just to watch the video?
So I put out a video because at least 3 times a week someone says, what in the world is your label? And I might have it around here. Well, I have this one. This is what my shipping label looks like, this long label. It's not a 4x6. And the printer that I use to print these, you can get, I linked 7 examples in the video that I posted today of under $100. This is a Dymo brand printer. This is thermal, because if you go to buy the Dymo 4XL, they're $355 at Staples right now. A Rollo, which is cheaper quality, is like $120.
Yeah. We started with that printer.
Yep. We used to have that one.
We had that printer, and that printer is a workhorse.
Yeah, I love it. I've never had a problem out of it.
The only reason we switched to the Rollo is because we found a way to get labels for free. So we switched. And
you're only supposed to use those at UPS.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, let me tell you, these are $17.94 for 600.
No, they're not expensive. They're great. It's a great printer. It's a total workhorse. We gave it away for 500 subscriber giveaway.
Oh, that's good. It went to a reseller. I found mine at Goodwill for $40.
It did.
Nice.
They actually went to the 5 resellers.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that for anybody that is looking for a good label printer, like you said, under $100, it is really good, and it is a workhorse. You just have to get through that little transition where you have to just change your labels, because if you don't, it's going to come out looking funky. But other than that, once you do, they're great.
And you only have to change it once. And then someone commented in my video that she uses one, and she dropped the number that it is, and you can also use, and is not the 4XL, and it's another Dymo. So yeah. For sure, if you're looking for a printer, like I say, I went to the time and trouble of creating links for every single one that I could find on eBay today under $100.
And they're most of them are probably junk. If they're 4x6 printers, they're probably junk, because anything under $100 is not.
No, these were all pre-owned 450 turbo.
Oh no, I thought you were talking like you found like something Chinese, China brand made something or other. Oh yeah. Rosie has some more bundling information. You can also make bundles for people as well. If someone likes multiple items, you can share them to the person and create the bundle for them and an offer. That sounds like lot of work.
Terrible.
That's what's considered styling someone. That's where it would be like, Rachel, I'm styling you. Yeah.
I just don't want to do any of that.
Rosie also says.
Now, hang on. If he has a shirt that says, Sarah, I'm trying my best, then you have to have the shirt that says, yeah, I just don't want to do any of that.
Yes. That's awesome.
There is going to come a day where I have some sort of swag to sell people, and there's going to be all these sayings on all these shirts, and it's going to be amazing.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
I'll tell you what, whenever we get those shirts, man, I'll send you each one, and so you can choose which one you want to wear that day.
Awesome.
Rosie also says, I also use bundles on closet cleanout days. If you reduce the price of any item on Posh, pays for the discount to ship. Oh, I put it in the bundle and comment offering a discount. This makes me a lot of sales. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. SM Postcard says, I imagine this is referring to eBay's increasing. If you call them and ask them for more, they told me they want you to prove you're a good seller, etc.
Yeah, I think that they're also just trying to kind of vet out bots or scammers.
Yeah.
If you're willing to call them, you're probably not a scammer, and they're just going
Right.
to tell you yes.
Yeah, Rosie says same thing. Scammers, people listing and selling large amounts of fake items, shipping boxes with rocks and stuff. They want you to get the ratings before you have a huge store. I would, you'd have to have a backbone to sell somebody a box of rocks and send it to them. That's just mean.
And you have to have a backbone in a P.O. box because they're going to come after you.
That's right. And an email address that doesn't work because they are going to find you. I'd be so mad if I bought something and it was a box of rocks.
I wouldn't be happy.
I get mad whenever we've had Amazon leave things in puddles before, and that makes me irritated. I can't imagine not getting something or getting a box of rocks. Whirl Squirrel says, I started on eBay when it was dial-up and people could send you a check or money order when they purchase something. Does that make me vintage?
I've heard a few resellers say that. I want to say Kevin Commonwealth Picker has talked about it getting checks in the mail.
Can you imagine woohoo, I sold a pair of jeans. Now I'll get paid in 4 days.
Yeah. I used to buy stuff off eBay when I was in college, and I used to write checks.
That's
and mail them.
adorable. No. We don't have to check anymore.
Right. I don't even have checks.
We have checks for the business. That's the only thing that we have checks for.
We don't even know where they are.
Yeah, and not this business. This for my landscaping business. But yeah, no, we don't have checks. So yes, Rural Squirrel, that does make you vintage, I believe. I mean, vintage is only 1995. So
no, vintage is 2000 and earlier, 20 years.
No kidding.
Yes.
That's sad. So vintage is now past my.
Isn't that a little mind blowing?
Well, I'm thinking I graduated high school in '99, so my high school graduation is actually older than vintage.
Yeah, you have a vintage graduation.
Every single outfit you wore in high school is vintage.
And every single outfit I wore in high school would be worth a fortune because I was a big Janko jeans wearer in high school.
Oh, I dated a guy in Jinkos. What was I thinking?
Hey, I wore. Pac's son used to have this T-shirt that was called Breakdown, and it said Breakdown on the back, and it had a little kid in baggy pants right here, and every shirt had a different one. So I wore those shirts, Janko jeans, and Airwalk shoes. So
did you have the huge elephant leg Jinkos that were enormous?
If I put my legs together, it looked like I was wearing a dress.
Yeah, that's how the guy that I dated wore really big pants like that.
And the back pockets went to the back of my knee. Getting my wallet, I'd have to almost reach down to the back. I
found a Jinko kids t-shirt, and when I found it, I was like, this is fire. Oh my gosh. And I finally could not give it away hardly for $6.
Really?
Wow.
So don't buy the Jinko kid stuff.
We found a Levi's Silver Tab corduroy skirt. Didn't even know they made them. Didn't have a clue why it was a silver tab, said Levi's Silver Tab on it. It was corduroy, and it was a mini skirt. And we were
Did you get good money out of it?
No,
not really.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I probably wouldn't pick that up.
$18 maybe.
Yeah. It was we got it at the bin, so we paid a for it. But it was it was weird to me because silver tabs were the baggy jeans.
But I think they made baggy corduroys too.
But you can't make a baggy corduroy mini skirt. I mean, you can't make a baggy mini skirt, period.
I mean, I don't know if Silver Tabs is you're right. Yeah. But I don't know if Silver Tabs is just baggy, though. I feel like I had some Silver Tabs that were just kind of bootleg,
Yeah, I think you're right.
designs.
Well, so then a couple days later, we found a pair of Silver Tab jeans in my size. And I was like,
now, the men's baggy Silver Tabs, that's a bolo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. But we bought them, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try these on, see what they're like. And I put them on, and I felt like an idiot. I'm like, these things are massive. The leg is the leg is 3 times the size of my actual leg. This is terrible.
Oh, wow.
How did I wear stuff like this? What was wrong with me? So Robin has a comment. She says the customer base on Depop is very needy and asks a lot of silly questions and always want a discount.
No.
Yeah.
And they're probably whining while they're typing it. How many times did you wash this shirt? Just don't Depop, okay? Get off.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
That would be so. I'm just picturing. I could picture that person that you just did an impression of in my head right now. I'm not going to describe him, or her, but I could picture that person. The patient picker says, "Do Yin's guys sell on Facebook Marketplace? We just started. How about you, Rachel?"
I'm not on Facebook because people are mean, and I haven't been on Facebook in 5 years. I'm the only
Good for
person in the
you.
world that that's not on Facebook. Yeah, my
I
son
hate
was like,
Facebook.
people are just
I
mean.
hate
On
it.
Instagram, if they don't like what you say, they just keep scrolling. But on Facebook, they're like, they put on armor before they go to war on
Yeah.
whatever they want to comment on, and they're just mean. And I don't have time for it. I just, I'd rather
Makes
be
sense.
happy if I got off Facebook.
Good
No,
for you.
makes
I
sense.
always want to get off of Facebook. I mean, I'm on it, but I don't like really comment or anything.
See, I'm the opposite of both of you. I'm a Facebook addict.
Yeah, he is.
I love I'm the guy that like I'll see like somebody post something controversial, and the first thing I'm doing is scrolling through those comments, like, "Oh, this is gonna be good."
Oh, you're like eating popcorn here for the comments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's totally me. And if I could stir it a little bit, I'll. No, anyway.
Stop it! You're the reason I'm not on Facebook.
No, I'm not mean. I'm not mean in any way. I just, if it's a friend of mine and he's debating with somebody, I'll. I might go and poke him a little bit, but other than
No,
I don't argue with strangers. Like I learned my lesson a long time ago. I don't do that. It's just, but yeah, I do enjoy looking at Facebook. Larry says I've sold a lot on Depop, but stop. Seems like common price range for buyers is $15 to $20 range. Yeah, that's not.
That's like their allowance for the week, so you can't like you can't.
I think we
fault
struck
them.
a nerve.
She hates Depop.
I've never been on there other than I created my account, but I just got the feeling that it was a bunch of high school kids or like I don't know, broke college students or something.
Yeah, I mean yes. We see a lot of this like vintage style in very, very, very young people, and I don't know if it's the cost that is like fueling this new trend where like 22-year-olds are wearing grandma jeans from the 80s that have elastic on them,
Like that granny core is definitely in right now. In certain circles around here, no one would have a clue what you were talking about. And vintage, even they're starting to come around to like vintage jeans and stuff, but I love vintage clothes. I bought a single stitch Beatles t-shirt off the Hoogs tonight on their Instagram.
Nice. I
and
saw
I'm
that.
excited. And it's probably going to be a dress. It's like a men's extra large. But I had to have it. So I think you do have some kids that like genuinely like the style. And then I think with any subculture, you're going to have some posers in there, or like
Absolutely.
Y2K is a style.
What?
And people, yeah, like, I mean, that's a
What
style
is it?
tag. Y2K. That's a style tag.
Okay.
So you could look on Poshmark or on eBay, either one, Y2K, and filter by sold, and you'll see like the style that they're looking for. And it's a lot of like, remember the tank tops that would say like angel and like a little peace sign, and that kind of stuff is in with an entire subculture of people right now. Everyone's into something different.
Yeah. I don't dispute it. Like I don't style. First of all, I have no style whatsoever. So people wear, whatever people want to wear. Yeah. Well, yeah, not anymore. I'm more of the, ask Sarah. I just like funny t-shirts.
He
I
loves
just
my
love
t-shirts.
fun fashion. I feel like fashion is so fun, and so I get dressed up every day to go to work in my basement, and some people think that's ridiculous to get dressed like head to toe, makeup, hair, and everything before you go work downstairs. But like, I think fashion is so fun. Why would I not want to look my best every day? And then if I need to run out and do something, I'm already ready, right?
Yeah. That makes it easy. Super Fast Tortoise says, loving the live. Don't forget to like the video. Yeah, guys, hit the like button for me. We got it. Rosie says Posh has a lot of babysitting, but in my opinion, the easiest for shipping. It's a trade-off.
That's true.
Yeah, it is pretty easy.
Unless it's over 5 pounds, and then you're going to be like, oh, why didn't I weigh this before? Don't list anything heavy on there, you guys.
Derek's here. Hey, Rod.
Hey.
How's it going? welcome to the live.
I was just talking about Yeezys. You missed it.
She was, yeah, totally missed it. SM postcards. I will tell you the ridiculous listing and quantity numbers I've been given by eBay when I'm on you guys' live on the 23rd. He sells postcards on eBay. That's all he sells.
Okay.
And he has worked in a plug every live since I've told him that he's on the 23rd. He managed to work in a plug on every time.
Once I'm done with birthday cake on the 23rd, I'll pop in.
There you go.
So Honey says, Adam, were you a hacky sack kid? No.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
you were. I thought you were.
The Jinkos loved hacky sack.
No, I was not.
I thought you did.
No, my friends were big hacky sack guys. You know my hand-eye coordination. Like, well, okay. First of all, you know my hand-eye coordination when it comes to sports. When it comes to things like, so Sarah says this all the time. She's like, when you do things that require hand-eye coordination, I get surprised. Like whenever she saw me hit golf balls for the first time, she was like,
yes,
I'm surprised that you're good at this.
Yeah, I was like, he looks sexy hitting those golf balls.
But yeah, but then there's certain things like hacky sack was just wasn't good at it. I mean, I'd hang out
hacky sack, like the thing's just gonna keep falling to the ground, and you're gonna be like, I'm trying my best, Sarah.
Yeah. And everyone's gonna be like, no. Well, then you get the kids that are like, what? Get out of the circle. This isn't working.
Oh, you could sit with us.
That's right. I always with me and my milk. Derek says, "How's everybody's week going?" Ours is going pretty good.
Better than I deserve all the time.
Well, ours has been. It's been a weird week, but it seems to just be like this roller coaster this week for us.
I told my husband earlier, I was like, someone put a tranquilizer dart in my store, but it was probably me because I was a little inconsistent with listing over the weekend.
I think our weekend was really good, but the weekend before was awful. Like it was just we were dead. And then this weekend we picked up quite a bit. I think just that last couple weeks of summer, it's kind of hit or miss.
Yes, everyone's trying to get back to school. They got other things to do than shopping in the store.
Yeah.
Right.
Riblets Gaming says, what does BOLO mean? And Derek answered it for you. Be on the lookout. That is correct.
Not a silly question. If there's a word or something that you don't know, just ask. I always tell people the only dumb questions are the ones you ask yourself on the way home because you wouldn't ask while you were there.
Yeah. BOLO, yeah, definitely not a stupid question. And we use it all the time on videos and stuff like that. But yeah, be on the lookout. It's if you find something that sells really well, like a good example of a BOLO that we had recently would be those Christmas catalogs. Like that would be a BOLO for us.
Crazy.
Those Christmas catalogs?
People love those.
Isn't that nuts?
Well, you know what? I was people just I think like those for nostalgia purposes, but at the same time, we were watching Forensic Files today, and it reminded me of a Forensic Files episode that I watched where they used an old JCPenney catalog to solve a crime because there was an outfit like the kid was wearing.
Don't get too graphic. I get scared. But
yeah, well, I
really
won't.
Cool.
But yeah, it's so I think like people may use it for other reasons other than That's
on Yard Sales and Dreams, she thumbs through them on YouTube videos too when she finds stuff like that, and she invited us to do a collab where we went through an old Montgomery Ward catalog. When I was a little girl, my grandma had the JCPenney's wish book, and we would cut the people out, and those were our paper dolls. Yeah.
There you go.
Did you do that?
We did not, but we used to cut out the things that we wanted for Christmas and tape them to lists. Cool. And I also said to Adam, I was looking through the one and I'm like, oh my God, I had this exact same nightgown in this catalog. And I said, I know exactly where the picture of me is wearing it. And I think he was like, you're crazy. And then I brought it in and I'm like, look, here's me wearing the nightgown. I'm holding it right up to the catalog when I was 7 years old.
I mean, nostalgia has more of a magnetic quality than what we're willing to admit. I mean, you can sell VHS tapes of TV shows that you taped off of your television. You can sell those sometimes for really big money, depending on the network.
That's what people said.
Yeah. Well, it's because people will snip out just the commercials. And
videos.
They're making a killing on the YouTube video, and so
why don't I do that? I'm putting in all this work with lives and what sold. I could just be taking old home movies and clipping them.
Recycling old commercials.
That's right.
Yeah.
Rosie says she has a 14-year-old and her friends won't wear anything that isn't at least 20 years old. They prefer thrift stores
Beautiful.
and vintage. Interesting.
Love it.
That is cool, though. That makes us
I
happy.
mean, yeah, I like that.
SM postcards. My whole wardrobe on laundry day is worth less than $100. That's awesome. And Sam wants to know if we're hacky sacking. Sam would definitely be in that cat. Sam, I could see you being a hacky sacker.
I could see you kicking Adam out of the circle.
Yeah, totally. Super fast tortoise is apparently his name is Derek. Well, his name is definitely Derek. And when I said Derek answered the question, he said no, it didn't. SM postcard. I know a TV guide expert collector, and he that was asked to testify in court as to what time a TV show aired on a certain date.
Yeah, see,
That's
people
amazing.
use these things.
I think
Yeah.
those.
Use my resources.
I think those catalogs are more for nostalgia, though, because like the ones with the Star Wars stuff in it, and the ones with like the.
How much did your catalogs? Like, you guys got close to $100 for one, didn't you?
Yeah, like
for one of them.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what? Talk about like what kind of catalog? It was the Sears wish book.
Yep, the Sears wish book was like
From-
70 something. 1985, maybe 82.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think it was 85. Because I was like, that's the year I was born.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that one had Transformers, Star Wars, and something else in it. That was, I think, G.I. Joe. So it was like those three really big vintage toys that like we know would sell like crazy now. And it's just, that was what was in it. Sarah wanted the one with the Cabbage Patches in it, but that was...
I'd let it go though. But yeah, I knew when I saw those, I knew those were hot. Like I just knew that they were.
That's crazy.
So I'm glad we got them.
What do you think
What
do you think the weirdest thing that you ever sold would be, or like something that you just would have no idea that this is worth money, unless you don't want to tell anybody?
No, I try to stay away from really weird stuff because the weird stuff's usually like pretty far up against my faith. Although every time I sell women's hosiery, it's for his wife. It's always going to a mail address. Every time I'm like, should I just stop selling vintage lingerie? The weirdest thing, I don't know. I'm going to put that question in the back of my head, and then I'll randomly interrupt you in a bit and be like, I know it was.
Got a women's hosiery story for you, though.
I knew you were going to say that.
We sold a vintage one, vintage women hosiery, and the message said, please put this in an unmarked package.
Yeah.
We were like,
ship discreetly or whatever. Well, like,
Yeah.
okay.
no problem.
No, I'm going to write pantyhose enclosed. Really big on top.
It's going to be see-through.
Clear poly bag.
I listed something recently that you might not. I at that thrift store that I was telling you, they sold me all of the everything for $1, all this vintage clothes. It was this little boy's coat from the 60s, and I had to do the nasty job of sticking my hands in all the pockets. And in this little boy's coat, there's like a crushed up pack of Wrigley spearmint gum. And I have it around here. I just listed it. Anyway, I listed the empty pack of gum and then the gum wrapper for like $12 because that's how much they go for on eBay.
Nice.
I meant to ask you, have you sold any chips? You were.
Did you see what happened?
No.
I saw those.
I
saw those
You
chip
didn't
listings.
see what happened?
I
Okay.
might have.
So my husband and I went through our death file, and he said he was sourcing, and he's sitting there looking through all the chips. And then I pull out one that's like a face profile. I was like, here's the chip. You could say it was anyone. And some people were DMing me who they thought it looked like. And then Drew pulled out a couple more. And then we were kind of kidding, saying they all look like soccer balls. And this one's a volleyball because they're all round,
Mm-hmm.
And then later, someone was coming over. I'm going to lay down my youngest son. And I look at my oldest, who's 15. And I said, clean off the kitchen table. I come back and I'm like, where are the chips? And he threw them away. He threw the face profile one away. So we got to get another bag of chips. I got to go sourcing all over again. And I have that cicada shell that I'm going to list too. And so it's in debate about which one's going to sell first, the potato chip or the cicada shell.
Nice. Are you going to do a what am I thinking of?
I did a poll on Instagram and asked people which one they thought. Yeah. And I think everyone thought that chip would sell faster, but there's a market for cicada shells.
I can believe
like
that.
any cicada shell, or do they have to be like special?
No, people sell like a quantity of 20, a quantity of 7, 100 of them.
Man,
Yeah, they're
we
like,
Ugh.
we would have had a fortune last year.
Do you
Or
guys
year
have like
before
a
last.
problem with them at all? Like,
no,
have you
I mean,
had?
I only found the one. It was on my son's playset, and he likes animals, but he's a little scared of bugs. And so I was like, "Look, this bug left his pajamas on your swing set," and he was not having it. And so I was like, "Look how cute he is!" And there's nothing in there. And he
I don't
finally was
believe
okay with it
people
enough.
sell those. We went camping 2 years ago where we
That's just-
live. Well, it's where we live now. We didn't live where we live now 2 years ago, but it's like literally so close to where we went camping 2 years ago. And it was cicada infestation. Like it was to the point in the very beginning, I was crying and I wanted to go home. To the
Mhm.
third day where they were just landing on your breakfast and you were just flicking them off because
Mhm.
they
Oh,
would just
wow.
land in your food and land in your food. And then you were just over it by that point.
Yeah, there
Like-
were so many to the point where Sarah's exact words were, "I don't even care anymore. Put a knife through the air mattress and throw the tent in the garbage can. We're leaving."
My dad had a camping trip like that once, and but theirs was with like some type of like sand fleas, or I don't know. They were like near a beach, and there was
Oh,
some
yeah.
kind of bug there. And then he said he ended up like crushing the tent on top of itself and
Yeah.
throwing it in the trunk, and they left.
I was gonna like throw in the dumpster. I was like the
That's
first
funny.
day I was like crying, and then I finally got over it. Like
There were so many. We could have made a fortune because there was
Oh yeah, you guys could be
thousands.
retired by now had you only.
Had we owned
and
that. Well,
the sound of them coming out of the shell at night, so disgusting. Like,
But see, if you ever get if time travel is a thing during your lifetime, go back to that morning and get all the shells.
no, yeah,
yeah,
And you could
yeah, we
be-
will. Yeah,
rich.
for sure, loaded.
Ugh.
So Hani says, "I want to believe Sarah's forensics filed murder mystery theory over nostalgia." More excited.
I think it's a combination of the two.
I think it is too, and probably movie props and things like that, or people that
Yeah.
are just aspiring filmmakers and things
Yeah.
of that nature. I think that's where a lot of this stuff goes,
For sure.
or collectors. There's probably somebody out there that collects these things and has
Yeah.
1965 all the way to 2000.
Yeah.
Like fire hazards all around their house. Just
Right.
waiting to go up in flames at any minute.
Yeah.
So
Which
do
volume
you-
are we reading tonight, kids?
I don't remember this, but do you ever remember? Sarah remembers it. Do you ever remember there being a price associated with these catalogs? Because I don't. I remember them just being free, and you could just get them. You could pick them up on your way into the store, or they give it to you
Not
whenever
the
you check
big,
out.
not the wish books. I feel like
Yeah.
the wish books you did have to. I think my grandma sent off for those, but she was a compulsive mail order shopper. Like eBay wasn't a thing, or else she really would have been broke. So I have no doubt that she paid for it to be shipped to her house.
Yeah.
So we can all dream about mailing.
They did.
off things.
Yeah.
See, I remember the bin in the front of the store, and you just grab one on your way in.
You were a little miniature shoplifter. You were supposed to pay for that.
That's great. Super.
Now you know.
Now I feel bad. Everyone always asks me. I have some of the worst luck in the world when it comes to things like that. Like, so the first, like when everybody stole something once or twice in their life, whether it was on purpose or not. Everybody when we were teenagers did something dumb. So here's my dumb story. I went into a Spencer's Gift and stole an FBI card, and it was a federal booby inspector card. And I
Oh
got
my
caught
god!
stealing
Of all
that.
the embarrassing things to steal.
You've never told me this before.
I have.
I can see
believe
why
it.
he wanted you to still like him.
And I wanted it to go out live on the internet to millions of people.
This is his public admission.
Wait,
That
so
was-
you got
I
caught?
totally got caught. Yeah, completely caught. The
So
only
what
thing I've ever
happened?
stolen in my life, with the exception of, the little kid when I was a kid grabbing some baseball cards and opening it up and eating the gum or something like that, and your mom took you over to the cashier and was like, say you're sorry and give it back to them. But yeah, that was the thing I stole on purpose, and I got caught. And I had friends and people that I knew that were ripping off, CDs upstairs, and I get caught with this one thing, and I'm like, this is why I don't commit crimes, because
What happened?
they took me into the little room. They yelled at me for a little while, told me they
I'm
were going to
glad
call
they
the
did.
cops. Yeah,
Set you straight. Now you have an
Never
honest
stole
job.
that's right. Never stole another thing in my life on purpose.
See?
No. Everybody's accidentally not rung something up at Walmart and walked out, and you were like,
Well, the other day at the thrift store, the one stool that I bought was $20, and I didn't think about it until after I got home. I was like, wait a minute. And I was talking to my husband. I said, they didn't charge me right at the thrift store. He's like, you're just now realizing that, thinking that they charged me when I was like, no, like my entire order was $24. Just that footstool was $20.
Yeah.
I guess I stole some stuff yesterday. I didn't mean to. Or they just like me. Maybe she gave me a discount.
Maybe. So Honey says JCPenney used to charge $2. Yeah, the catalogs, the JCPenney ones we had said $2 on them. But I was like,
yeah.
Don't
you get so upset that they would charge for catalogs. You're always very worked up about it.
That would be like us charging people
to look at my
admission.
store.
Yeah, like it's $1 and then you can view the products. Okay. Super Fast Tortoise, random question: favorite snacks?
We're vegan and vegetarian in my house. My kids are vegetarians, and my husband and I are vegan. So almonds. I really like almonds. What else? Kettle cook chips, like the lightly salted kettle cook, because you want something crunchy. Apparently, I like crunchy stuff. Almonds.
Yes, apparently.
Kettle cook chips. Fruit. We go through a ton of fruit. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite, like if we're talking like all time, I would have to go with Reese's peanut butter.
I knew you were going to say that.
I haven't touched them in months, but yeah, that would be my favorite of all time.
They are delicious. I haven't always been vegan. They are good.
Well, I'm a real freak. Mine's like beef jerky and cheese.
Not vegan.
No.
But we did have some interesting almonds last weekend that
the wasabi ones.
No, I love the wasabi soy ones though.
That's like my go-to road trip snack is either wasabi peas or wasabi and soy sauce almonds in the gas station.
Yeah, I like those. I like the salt and vinegar ones. I like the smoky barbecue.
Ones or the cocoa dusted.
Yeah, I like them all really.
What did you have?
What's that?
So, what we had that was weird. So we were at my cousin's house and they had rosemary and they were rosemary and sea salt,
I think, and garlic or something.
Rosemary and garlic almonds.
So like Italian type of.
They were really good.
They were amazing, and they were from Costco. Unfortunately, we don't have a Costco.
It's just like such a
we do.
Snack.
Oh, membership.
Salty and filling and healthy fats, good for your skin and your hair. I love almonds. I like cashews.
Yeah, almonds are good. Yeah, I like cashews.
Cashews are my go-to nut, but
they're so soft. But they're so expensive. I hate how expensive cashews are.
Yeah. And then you get the pieces, and they're a little cheaper, but then it's kind of a mess. So,
I don't like the pieces.
No. And Tiger's here, stealing the show again. He loves to steal the show. He's a camera cat, apparently.
He wants to be a YouTube star.
He does.
He could be. He makes noises like a pigeon. He's not a cat. He coos at people. It's very weird.
Oh, wow.
We have some strange animals in this house. That's all there is to it. And they all want to be on camera at the same time, apparently. So, yeah, that's all the questions in the chat. Do you have any questions for us that you want to ask or anything?
Yeah, I could pick your brain about Cabbage Patch everything for a while. I was asking Sarah about the sticky shoes the other day. Yeah, because like I feel like that's one of the biggest hindrances in selling them when you do find the shoes is that they can just be so sticky. And then I took all the shoelaces out and I OxyCleaned those, and then I ended up making them kind of stiff. But I don't know. I like to pick those up because I think they're so fun. But you really like to rehab them. Like you take it to another level.
She's going to take it to another level. She's going to.
Where does that love of Cabbage Patch come from?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Where does that love of Cabbage Patch come from?
I don't know.
Oh, it's just something that you just adore.
It just I don't know where we got the first ones that we sold. Did we get them at a thrift store?
Flea market.
Was that a flea market?
Oh no.
It's not like you just associate it with your childhood or anything.
No. I mean, I did have them. But I don't know. I'm just like obsessed with them now. I have no idea why.
She thinks they're really cute. You should see.
I do think they're cute.
One of these days, I'm going to have to make a video of her opening a box of the Cabbage Patches that she orders, because her reaction to Cabbage Patches when they come into this house is priceless.
I'm going to show your audience the one that I tagged you in the other day if they didn't see her.
Yeah, the
That's right.
clown.
The clown.
She's a clown. She's got these little lace leggings and shoes, and she has this face piece that comes down. She's got a little hat. Look, and she's got the tooth that you were talking about.
Yeah.
The ones with like one tooth. She's got two little.
She's got the 2 teeth.
Yeah. And you got two dimples there too.
Yeah, a lot of them only have one dimple.
Oh, okay. So I should use that as like a keyword or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, and then she's got an original diaper on too.
Yep, the original diapers are good.
Oh yeah.
So I'm hoping to get like $60 or something for her. She was $12. So yeah, if you see these little clown ones, I didn't see any of them going for like dirt cheap.
No.
Yeah. That and the ones. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, the ones with the corn silk hair, those ones are worth more too. Yeah, I just put one of those on.
I have one of the water baby ones that's like plastic, and it's just not moving. Like nobody seems.
Yeah, I haven't seen very many of those.
The newer ones, for some reason nobody wants the newer ones, but they all want the older ones. The older ones are.
And this one's like an old plastic one that you could take in the tub with you. But just,
really?
Yeah, I remember those.
Nobody seems to want it.
We have a carrier. It's like a regular. It looks like a baby carrier. What am I thinking of? Like a car
seat.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We don't have
kids, so we don't know anything about
whatever
children.
You should throw the kids in.
No, people are like, "Here, hold the kid." I'm like,
"You guys aren't babysitting."
I love kids. I'm not afraid of babies. He's afraid of babies.
Yeah, I'm very scared.
I am constantly on the lookout for the little Cabbage Patch Kids roller coaster or whatever the little fan thing
I want that.
You said that you want. I just am looking for it for you. I don't even want to.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm just like, if I ever find it at a good deal, I'll just pay my cost.
The one I found was like so dirty, and I'm just like, ugh, no.
Yeah, some of the little bitty toys that you would have to get like a Q-tip in or something.
Yeah.
Like I have some little people cars over here, and I'm like, they're
Yeah.
tiniest little grooves that they're dirty in.
Yeah. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I know a lot of people don't want to answer this question. What's the number one on your BOLO list right now?
What I would associate that with like what I want to find this week, and that's Halloween decor for me. Just because I'm like, I have major fear of missing out right now because no one around us is putting out anything. And my husband actually called 2 thrift stores in a town 30 minutes north of here this morning just to ask them for me if their Halloween's out yet, and it's still not. No one has put out Halloween, and I see people already making like, Baldy Pal Adam just sold that horse for $600, that skeleton horse. And then who was it? Maybe NC Picker or somebody listed one like a pirate skeleton for $700.
Oh wow!
Like I want to find blow molds and these Halloween decor right now. That's my BOLO.
Yeah.
Or like Easter Unlimited Halloween mask, like the Scream mask. If they say Easter Unlimited on the chin, I mean you could get over $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody just picked up about 3 of those or something.
That's how it will be around here because they'll be 50 cents. Nobody.
That would be amazing.
Crazy.
We are on the hunt for Squishmallows. That's our thing lately. We've been in the Squishmallows. I am thinking that it's going to be a hard to find toy.
I heard you say that on one of your previous lives, and I was like, that's kind of a good point because obviously we can't base what's trendy around here is not trendy everywhere. So the Squishmallows are big deal in other places. I agree with you. Maybe if I ever see them, I promise you, our Walmart has never had a vat of those. They would probably still be there.
That's probably what happened. They probably put them out and they were like, nobody's going to buy that. We're sending the one in St. Louis. They'll be gone in a day.
Yep. Probably.
So, Superfast Tortoise is a beef jerky and cheese fan. Good for diabetics. And his wife, M&M Trail Mix and Reese's. Superfast Tortoise's BOLO is vintage toys from his childhood.
Who doesn't just love that?
We found.
Then it's hard because you want to keep it.
Yeah.
Were you on the live where I made her keep this guy?
The football boy.
Oh no, he's pretty cute though.
He's a permanent part of the background now because I was like, you can't sell him. He's got to stay here. He's got to be part of
He's
the background.
only boy. He's like, please give me some more testosterone.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. There's a sailor back there too that I made her keep too. So I seem to be this like, it's a boy, it's staying here. It's not.
That's
it's not
cute.
Cool. So, let's see. We got Rosie says new in box toys are her number one right now, preparing for the holiday toy shortage. Yeah, we're trying our best with that as well.
Just have to be careful not to overspend because because it was 20 and now it's 5 doesn't mean that anyone's going to desire that toy, come Christmas time.
Yeah.
So don't lose your head on that. Be sure to run comp.
Absolutely. SM Postcard says I will dumpster dive head first for a postcard.
So is this like vintage postcards or just any postcards?
I believe he does, yeah. And he's going to tell you to tune in on the 23rd because I know that's what he'll do. But
let me show you this cool postcard. I can't show you the back because it's got my address, but my folks mailed me this from the country's smallest post office.
Oh, that's awesome. So cute.
It's in Ochopee in Collier County, Florida. It's the country's.
That thing's awesome.
It's so small.
Considered to be the smallest post office in the United States, is what it says. And then there's there's a postcard up there of like Transportation Row in Detroit. So it's where they have all the car factories. It's a vintage one from, I don't know, probably the 50s or 60s postcard.
Doesn't look like that now. I can promise you that.
No.
They are. Sarah wants to go. We were originally going to go. We were going to take a thrifting road trip, and we were going to go from here to Detroit, from Detroit down through Indianapolis and into Chicago. And we were going to stop at Pete's place, Craigslist Hunter, at the end of it, and then drive back. And she's never been to Detroit. I've been to Detroit a couple times. And Sarah likes abandoned buildings and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, it's the right city for it. That's for sure.
I'd say so. Bring your bottled water. I mean, but.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, don't drink the water. Riblets Bolo would be vintage board games, complete and cheap. That way, if I don't sell them, I will play them.
I've never hated shipping anything more than I hate shipping board games. I'd rather ship a computer monitor, like an old school. I'd rather ship a box TV than a board game.
Yeah, absolutely. They are hard to ship, and the
no
USPS,
one wants to pay for shipping.
Yeah, the USPS has that box, but it's ridiculously expensive.
Well, that's like their board game box is also the large flat rate box, so it's like $18-$20. No one is going to pay that for like 1980s Sorry board, $20 shipping. Yeah, so I guess you have to get the right games maybe, and like they said, they like to keep them all.
What was that game we found that was worth like $150, and it was almost like an Ouija board, but it was some other
Ziria or something.
Yeah,
don't be buying that stuff.
It was.
It wasn't. It looked like it. Like it had the same general idea.
No, it was an adult party game.
Right, it's like a drinking game of some sort.
Oh, I don't think it was that.
Oh. I didn't look very close.
I don't think it was a drinking party game. I think it was a take off your clothes party game.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't look very closely at this, apparently. He identified your card, Chrome card, common, $4 to $5.
I don't. What do you Chrome card?
Your postcard that you just
the Detroit one.
I think the smallest. I'm not sure.
This other one might have been worth $4 to $5 before my 5-year-old got a hold of it and bent it down the middle. But I just thought it'd be cool to put in my shipping station since it's the smallest post office.
that there's a post office down the street from that would be probably pretty close, but it's definitely bigger. But it's in like a strip mall, like near
what are you talking about?
the one down the road in Aliquippa. It's near like a strip mall and next to a hardware store.
Yeah.
So Rosie sells board games on Poshmark because you can put the board game in a box and they are only paying the flat rate.
I didn't think about that. Hey, that's a pretty good idea, actually.
Is
there a market for vintage board games on Poshmark?
I don't think. I mean, I can't imagine. Every time I've searched anything but clothing in Poshmark, it doesn't come up with very many listings, but maybe.
Huh.
So, I don't know.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I bought some of the big like electronic football, and I left them listed in my store for like 3 years before it's the only only thing I've ever redonated.
Yeah. We have redonated a few things over the years, but most of it is like we bought in bulk from somebody and they had all this other stuff, and most of it was garbage, and then we just redonated it or something like that. But most of it we try not to as much as we can. There's been a handful of things where
I'm like, well, it's already taken up the space that it's taken up. I'll just wait until it sells. But I unlisted those because they were so bulky. There were 2 of them, and just to donate them. Like, I'll never buy those again. My mistake.
Yeah. Just use the right keywords in the title so it pops on Google searches. I've sold quite a few complete games. Okay.
You are so right. Why do I forget about that? Man, what'd you say her first name is?
Rosie. She's on
Rosie.
Well, I call her Rosie, but I think she goes by Rose, but I don't know. She said either was fine.
Well, she's right though, because like I've sold things on Poshmark before. I sold a Gucci belt on there that they never went to Poshmark. They checked out on Google.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Rosie, drop your Instagram, and she's on Instagram. She does a lot of like live pics and stuff like that. You could probably pick her brain.
Awesome.
Fart Sack Jack, otherwise known as Mike, is here. How are you, beautiful folks?
I saw him change his name last live. You were really cracking up about it.
It's the only I've never heard a bed referred to as a fart sack in my entire life, and it's just been this the first day he mentioned it cascaded. Like it was the topic of conversation. And our lives have gone that way so many times where we're like, yeah, we'll talk about reselling and it'll be great, and then the next thing you know, we're talking about Las Vegas trips or something and fart sacks. It's like, okay. Larry said I sold a board game called Samurai over $100. It's like a strategy game like Stratego. Interesting. Interesting. Here's another shameful plug from SM Postcards. We'll come up with a list of 5 Bolo postcards for the 23rd that sell for $20 and up. Another shameful plug. Ribbles
I'm
Gaming says
interested in the postcard deal. That's pretty cool.
23rd. If you didn't know, he's going to be on the 23rd. Shipping board games can't be that expensive because I've bought them from eBay and my shipping has never been over $10. That's the buyer, though. The buyer's doing that. So like
and it depends on how long ago you bought them, because like if it's a very long board game, if it's very thick, I mean, you go over 12 inches one direction and USPS kills you.
And the buyer can make it anything they want on eBay. The seller. I mean, we do that with jeans a lot of the times or something, because we know they're never going to go over $8 because we can stuff it in this flat rate envelope with no problem. So it'll always be $8, but we have marked things that we know shipping is going to be, well, I take that back. We have gotten things where people have complained about shipping. So we've just marked the shipping down and raised the price.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I do.
Rosie says guest buyers are the best on Posh. It's my favorite kind of sale because they are full price. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I just completely forgot that was even a thing. But yeah, that was my biggest sale ever on Poshmark, was a guest buyer, and it was a $300 Gucci belt I picked up for $2 at the thrift store.
So, just so I'm clear, so you can Google search, like I can Google search Nike Air Force Ones, and if Poshmark is one of the listings, I can just go straight through Google checkout and never even go into Poshmark.
100%, because that was, like I say, my most expensive item, and I was like, what kind of scammery is this? I was like, what is happening? And honestly, they did try to dispute the belt, and Poshmark was like, absolutely not, this is 100% authentic. I knew it was authentic because I own a Gucci belt my husband bought me. So no, there was never a question in my mind that belt was genuine.
It's nice to hear that they backed you and not the seller, because eBay sometimes just doesn't care. They're like,
and it was crazy because they didn't even try to submit any photos to back up. And so you have like an opportunity. Well, you might not know since you just started on Poshmark. So the buyer raises any type of a red flag. It's not as described. This is the wrong size. You mailed me the wrong thing, inauthentic, whatever. And then it's not up to you whether or not you accept the return. It's up to Poshmark, but they do say, here, you can include any comment you want, and like up to 5 photos or something. So I included the comment about exactly why this belt was authentic and the pictures of the serial number and the stitching and, so on and so forth. And Poshmark was like, there's no doubt this is authentic.
Well, that's nice. Poshmark backs you, because like I said, the eBay sometimes will just be like, yeah, no, we've sided. I mean, we had one time they closed a case and they sided in the buyer's favor, and it was a canceled sale. They were like, yeah, we're siding with the buyer that it's fake, and we're like, it didn't even go to the buyer. It went to the wrong, like she didn't ship it back to us. Like so what she did was she canceled the sale and tried to return the item. And then when she tried to return the item, she shipped it back to herself.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, oh yeah, it's been delivered. And we're like, no, it hasn't. Look at the tracking. It's back at her house. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll close it in your favor. And then the next day they were like, we're closing it in her favor. And I'm like, what?
Nowhere. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, that's probably other good advice. I hope the new reseller's still in the chat, that just be prepared that eBay is totally going to do you wrong at some point, and it is going to be a cost of doing business on eBay. Chalk
Absolutely.
it up as a cost, because I've lost money on there and I can't lose sleep over it. You'd have to just like suck it up, buttercup, and move on to the next sale.
Absolutely. The Flippin' Hustler says, good evening, fellow resellers. Hello.
Hey there.
And Rosie's back. She says Posh is great because in general there are no returns. So it really So it really has to go through all of these hoops.
Yeah.
I can't read today.
You can't read any day.
I can't read any day. Yeah. So we're gonna stick around for about 5 more minutes if you're cool, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah,
so
sure.
If you guys have any more questions for Rachel or for us or for anybody, or if you just want to say hi, go ahead and do that. We're gonna step out in about 5 more minutes. So do you have so your favorite platform is eBay for sure. Is there anything that you have bought over the period of time that you just should have never bought, or like anything that sticks out in your head? Because we have a couple.
Yeah, actually, yes. So the big, huge electronic football, I bought it because it was vintage, and not everything vintage is going to be gold. That doesn't mean it's not worth saving and worth picking up, but like make that the matchbook case or something small. Don't make that a 6-foot long electronic football board and 2 of them. That was so stupid. Yeah. And then also, so vegan and vegetarian household, I walk into Walmart and doing a little retail arbitrage, and they have the KFC fire logs on clearance for $2 a piece. And I bought them out of them. And let me just tell you, they stink. I finally had to put them in a tote with the lid on them because they smell like fried chicken. No one in my house is interested in that. But even meat eater friends that I know have said that, no, those stink.
I love them.
So here's a funny story.
I love the way they smell.
Here's a funny story for you, though. They don't smell like fried chicken when you burn them.
Well, no.
They smell like a regular starter log when you burn them. It's just the wrapper smells like fried chicken. It was the biggest because we brought one to my friend's house for like their Halloween. They were having a little fire, and we're like, hey, check this out. So we burned it, and like as soon as you burn it, the smell goes away. And we're like, weird. This is supposed to smell like fried chicken. It doesn't. Why doesn't it? Yeah,
and they weigh like 5 pounds a piece. So it's another one of those things that they're hard to fit into certain flat rates. And are they going to want to pay $12 to ship it when it's already like you can just go buy one at Walmart for $20? I shouldn't have bought those. That was dumb.
Yeah, we bought when they came out, we bought the one, and I was like, this should smell like fried chicken the entire time it's burning for that kind of money. Like, this is ridiculous. So never buy those again.
I love them.
I didn't like them.
I love the way they smell.
You're closer, I'd give you one of mine.
Just drop them in a box and send them to Sarah. All right. Well, it's been great. Do you have anything you want to plug, Rachel? You got anything coming up or anything?
I accidentally bought a webcam today. So I'm starting a live series over on my channel, and it's the good, the bad, and the ugly on eBay this week. And so me and a guest every week, and I hope that you guys will join me one week.
Absolutely.
Basically, we will trade off a good thing that happened, and then let the chat talk about their good stuff that happened, and then a bad thing that happened, and then an ugly thing. And the ugly things are the things that result in $0. You lost a sale, or so basically just to put like a positive spin on the ups and downs of reselling, and kind of like a water cooler talk. So that series is going to be starting. And since I do so much on my tablet and on my phone, I don't have a webcam on my PC. And like I say, I accidentally bought one today. It should be in by next week. Maybe it'll be sooner than that. And so look for
Accidentally.
that series. Well, I put it in the cart and I'm watching this review.
Oh, so you
on
really
YouTube.
did accidentally buy it. I thought
Yes.
you were making a joke.
No.
Well, it was a funny
Nope.
joke.
Yeah, no, real life, my life was a joke today because I accidentally bought it. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I need to like check out how many frames per second and this and that. And I hit back on my phone and my finger slipped. I'm not kidding. I'm in the Walmart app where all your payment information is already saved. And it says, and the thing starts spinning. And I was like, wait, should I hit back now? And then it says, thank you for your order. And I was like, guess that's the one I must be meant to have. So let's hope that it's a fabulous picture quality.
Yeah, you could probably cancel it.
I needed one anyway. This takes the guesswork out of it. It's like,
there you go.
It was on clearance. So
You could just be like all the sellers. Oh yeah, there you go. You could just be like all the sellers that are like, I didn't buy this.
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
my kid
Accidental
bought
purchase
this.
by my 3-year-old who knows my credit card number.
Yes, exactly. My 3-year-old knows how to buy things off eBay and send offers back and forth.
Yeah. So you're telling me you
did all of that.
Your 3-year-old is smart enough to find a pair of Nikes, buy them, and log into your PayPal account
and negotiate with me.
Right?
Yeah. I wanted to sell.
Ask for a shipping discount.
Yeah.
What webcams are you guys using?
She is on my MacBook Pro's, my editing computer webcam. So it's just the one built into that Mac. And then I'm using a Logitech webcam. It's kind of like it looks
like it sits on top of the monitor up there.
Well, yeah, I had to stick it on there. It's anything 720p and higher, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 1080p, and I was looking for something 60 frames per second, but that's the only thing. And I looked back, and I'm still not sure if it is, but it was comparable to some of the Logitech. So I hope that it works well.
Realistically, if you get like a StreamYard subscription or something like that, they're only going to unless you get the Pro, which is I think $60 a month. They're only going to let you do 720p and higher anyways. They won't even let you do 1080p. So
really?
Nope.
So well, you guys look crystal clear, so we should all be fabulous.
Yeah, no, everything's going to be fine. So yeah. So that's about it, guys.
Use the one that I bought, right?
Yeah. I mean, if it's 1080p and 60 frames per second, it'll look great. It'll look just like your
wonderful
camera. Yeah, no,
look for that on my channel soon, guys, and head over there and subscribe because we have big goals by the end of the year. Got to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
Let's help you out again. I'll throw Rachel's YouTube channel in the chat again, so go subscribe to her. Check out her videos. Check out her shorts on how to put something in a flat rate envelope with a straw. That was good.
Should be next.
Everybody loved that one.
Everybody thought I was gonna suck the air out of the bag.
That's what I thought too. I saw it and I'm like, she's not. She's and I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Sarah is I anything big that we got to stuff in that flat rate, I go over to Sarah and I'm like, I need your stuffing ability because Sarah is I've gotten these things back and they've been like circles.
Pillow. Wow.
Yeah. I'm pretty good.
Somebody said, wait, I don't understand how that makes it fit. And I was like, well, the envelope's not really empty. It's full of air. You don't think about that. And so when you're trying to shove something in there and it's already full of air, you have to let that air out. And just so many people were cutting the bottoms of those. And I'm like, you're mailing these in like a blizzard or a hurricane. Your product's going to be soaking wet by the time, even if you slap a piece of tape over that.
Yeah. Well, Derek, at the Atlanta Flipper, he had an interesting, he heat guns them and stretches them.
Dang.
I was like, that's serious.
He's got it all figured out.
He does.
They're like twice the size.
His postal workers like.
This isn't a flat rate.
Oh, it's the new flat rate.
That is hilarious.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet already, go head on over to Rachel's channel, subscribe, watch all her videos at least 10, 12 times.
Yeah.
And all the commercials. Watch the commercials, click on the commercials, click on any ads that are just do everything you can. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And until next time, our guest next Thursday will actually be my good friend from down the street, Pittsburgh Picker. So come and tune in for that on next Thursday. And Sunday, me and Sarah are back, just us by our lonesome talking and probably Sarah yelling at me.
That's not true.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
God bless you guys.
Bye.
See ya.